Welcome everyone to Your Little Castle Show. Did I put the hat on last show? I had it sitting on the table.
You never wore it.
It's warm in here, everybody. I'm putting a hat on. Tommy is a leader in the community, and we're going to share with you some insights that I guarantee you've not heard. Not recently, probably not in a long time. Stay tuned for more, everybody. Welcome everyone. We're talking to Tom Patton. He's a construction expert, sales manager for Arrowhead Roofing and Exteriors. Thank you again for sticking around. We got another half hour here to talk about fun stuff. We're going to give a shout out to we got a bunch of sponsors, but this one kind of neat. My sponsor is in the building with us here today, actually, everybody. But if you want to learn about metals, gold and silver in particular, you should get yourself the vault report. I'm going to page through here to a couple things. This guy is in the building. I might have him come upstairs. Curtis, you down there? He can hear me. Curtis is in the building, and this is the #1 expert in the company with regard to helping more people in the world. Precious metals. We've got them all, a bunch of them sitting here. And I got a new one here. This one's actually my wonderful girlfriend opened up hers yesterday, and we said, oh, that's the magazine that Curtis is in the front cover of this one also. And here's our latest. Check this out. I'm going to zoom in. Oh, I got it right there. Look at that. If you learn anything about precious metals, you can find a way that it's a good retirement plan, especially with regard to gold and silver. So learn about that. Go to My Metal Pro. I'll put that back up. My Metal Pro. Go to goldcowboy.com, and you will learn a lot about that because it beats the S&P, everybody. And since 2010, gold has appreciated more and performed better than the Standard & Poor's, which everybody tries to say, oh, we beat the Standard & Poor's, and then they don't, but gold has. Look it up. All right, let's jump back in here. We got a lot more to talk about, Tommy, and you do a lot of great work in the community as one of the top musicians in the country. I'm going to say that because I know you played Nashville, you played opening for major big bands. What was that? Who were you saying most recently in St. Louis you had opened?
Eli Young Band, and that was a Taste of St. Louis, and then Chris Jansen. Those are the last two national acts that I got to do.
Did you hear what he just said there? I know both of those guys. Yeah. I'm not a big country guy. I'm more like hard rock and some Garth Brooks and Keith Urban maybe a little bit, and who was Toby Keith too.
I love Toby Keith.
Toby Keith, rest in peace. He impacted a lot of people.
Yeah.
I love this bar. It's my kind of place. I can't say more than that, or else we'll get in trouble. So
yeah.
We have to talk to the licensing people for that stuff. But with that, tell me a time. We finished last show. We were talking about. Tell me a time, because I know you've done this hundreds of times, when you really had a customer you helped. They were in a tough situation.
Yeah, we had one, and I was actually talking about this the other day. We had a young lady that we were working with, and everything was great. Everything was fine. And then she kind of locked me out of the house randomly, but didn't realize she locked me out of the house.
I gotcha.
And I just thought it was a fluke thing, and then we going through the process, and we're picking out colors, and we're getting deposits, and we're getting everything set up. And then we get a phone call from her daughter. And her mother was suffering from dementia.
Oh, wow.
So she had really no clue. So then we kind of had to basically stop. Mom didn't have legal right to sign. So technically our contract was null and void, but we also wanted to be human. They needed some repairs done. So now we have to start this whole process over with the daughter. And she was very nice, very helpful. Can I pay for this? Listen, you don't need to pay us for any extra time. Yes, did we have to basically do everything multiple times and start this whole thing over again? 100% we did. But also there was a human side of it to where, one, the daughter's dealing with this. And that had to be traumatic for her and heartbreaking for her to watch her own mother do that.
Right.
And then two, the poor mom, because some of the things with dementias, they don't always know they have it. They don't always know they don't know there's anything wrong with them sometimes. So it was just really kind of a sad situation. It was one of those things that made me take a step back and realize again, we're dealing with humans here. You know, it's so easy to just take a kitchen out and put a new kitchen in, you know, and collect a paycheck and make your money and go on with your life. Or take the roof off, put a new roof on. Those are the things that have to be done, but there's human people moving in and out of that. And sometimes it's nice to see that and just like have that reminder. Because that's one of the things I just kind of chewed on. I still chew on it from time to time.
Yeah, ultimately, like we talked a little bit about in the first show, these are all human beings.
Mm-hmm.
They're all here on this planet with the same mission, same goal, same creator, and we got to treat them with respect.
Mm-hmm.
And you see somebody who's struggling, well, I want to get in my little spiel again, but it's literally like, how do you best help somebody? I'll use a quick analogy. Is it better to give somebody a fish or to teach them how to fish?
Yeah.
And there's times when you need to do both. But ultimately, the more people, I think I answer to that higher power, and that's who ultimately. So if people that say, Carter, we've heard people make fun of you for whatever. I'm like, okay, what was I doing something goofy? I probably deserve to be made fun of. But I don't worry what people think about me or care or say about me, other than the few people that are close to me who are giving me advice to say, hey, here's things to consider, whatever. But I answer to that higher power, and that's what motivates me. And I think that's a good, tell me if you agree it's a good platform, because then you're not subject as much to, because the people say, well, they don't believe in a higher power. Well, then who's in charge?
Yeah.
That's a lot of responsibility. And I'm the guy that makes the decisions. Whew, you better not mess up. So ultimately, take care of our little creatures.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, for me, just show everybody some compassion and love in everyday life. And I don't care if it's a grocery store, if it's work, it's whatever. Because on the times that I have people show me that, I'm very thankful for that. Because I'm guilty sometimes of having my spreadsheet, my agenda, my process, and I just want to get from point A to point Z.
Yeah.
And I want to do it as efficiently as I can. And I've been known to run people over in the way of doing that. And at the end of the day, it's like, we're all human beings. They had a rough morning. They had a rough day. They're going through something. They have a family member that's struggling. So if we can just show people love and we can show them compassion and just be there for other human beings, I think our world will be better. I don't care how you vote. I don't care what you do when you go home. Really, we should just be showing love to everybody.
That'll do it. That'll get you to where you want to be ultimately, because you can't take any of it with you.
No.
And it's got to be something that you're doing to make it a little better on this planet. With that, I'll give a shout out to our book that we promote a little bit here, because it helps you as a consumer. If you are somebody who is looking to learn how to do media to promote your business, get this book. It's called Magnetize Your Media. Magnetize Media, easy for me to say, right? But magnetize your media, because that it's when you're helping people, same strategy. When you're putting good information out, you're disseminating the things that you're doing to help the rest of the world. It needs to be seen out there, and in a way that does not just, and you don't want to brag. That's not what you're doing. You're trying to share with the things that are going on our planet. And we all have a platform now to do that with social media. So magnetize your media right there will help you learn how to do that. The guy who wrote the foreword, I know really well. His name's Cardinal Cowboy. And they asked me to write that because I had enough insight with this regard to this, and worked with these guys on some other projects, and had Willie on my show, who's a co-author with this, with Steve. This will help you understand the way the world is right now. Get a copy of this. #1 seller in its category on Amazon, everybody. So take a minute to do that. With that, I ask, how has the world changed, Tom, with the last decade? And the way you run a business, the way you run a band, the way you do anything these days, media world and technology.
You have to have a presence on all the platforms. I mean, we're even learning, people used to just want to make a Facebook post 5 years ago. Those are great. But the reels right now are what's driving people. Really, when TikTok came out in 2020 and we're all sitting at home and, eating junk all day, when TikTok came about, we just started scrolling those. I think they were 30 seconds in the beginning.
Yeah,
and they went to a minute. Now they're 3 minutes
30.
or something now. And the reels became big in Facebook and Instagram. I mean, I know I'm guilty sometimes of just sitting on Instagram looking at reels. The wall stuff is great. I mean, you and I, we had Facebook or MySpace with Tom. We had our backdrop and we had our songs and our top 10 friends. And then it went to, Facebook was boring and basic. And then, but everybody looked at everybody's walls, and then you'd look at their photos. Now people are looking at reels. So as businesses, if you're not making digital video content for your wall and for your reels, 30 seconds, you're really, really missing the boat.
That's what we talk about. That's why we've tried to make it easy for our guests. We very often Some people will say, Carter, we'd like to have a copy of that. Oh, cool. Let's work out that with you and take it, cut it up in clips. Now you've got an hour's worth of content that actually aired on ABC. See that logo right there? It's on the screen. It's not behind us on the wall, but it's on our screen. Part of our production process. But literally, when you can get on a network like this and share your word, and we don't let just anybody come on our show, obviously. We talk to people and vet them, and we want to have the leaders in our community. But we wanted to help all the small businesses out there to get their word out, and that's what media does. How has technology changed the way you actually do business, too, with regard to, like, now you've got drones, you've got aerial views, you've got all kinds of ways that things are done more efficiently now.
Well, we have drones, offering credit card payments, digital signatures on contracts. I mean, in the old days, you go sit down, maybe you speak with a husband, maybe you speak with a wife, they're not together. Maybe you speak to them both at the same time, and they're not ready to make a decision. So let's just say it's 45 minutes from the office. You drive there, you do your presentation, they call you back 3 days later, like, I want to sign. Well, now you got to drive 45 minutes back, right. And it's just a lot of time. It's not efficient. Now, you digitally send them over a contract. They can sign it with a tablet, with a phone. Everybody's used that finger. As much as I hate COVID and everything that COVID was about and the country being shut down, all those things, the things that I loved about it was it really forced a lot of people to learn how to use these type of things. Forced people to learn how to Zoom and to sign things electronically because we had no other options. And it's funny when you have no other options, what you'll learn. And it got to speed up the companies that were forward thinking, that were doing it before. And we just made it a part of our daily processes on everything.
And it really is. I've been a big advocate since my mom and dad made me go to computer classes, everybody. I negotiated, Tommy, you're going to be mad at me about this. I negotiated with my parents to be able to quit piano lessons.
Well, that's okay. It's
in trade to go to. They're going to make me go to computer classes. I wanted to play baseball, so I got to play baseball. But I said, well, if I, and my mom's our famous quote. My dad said, he reminded me of this for many years. My mom said, that's Carter. Sometimes you need something that rubs you the wrong way, and that was I had to take piano or computers.
Yeah.
And I said, Mom, I don't need that. I've got you. My dad was like, oh, you just.
I'm all in favor of somebody learning an instrument, any kid learning an instrument, either an instrument or a sport or some type of craft.
Yes.
And I don't care if that craft is, if you have a child that's really, really good at painting, get them into that and get them as much, something outside of just school and learning, how to educate yourself.
Yeah, because now you're dealing with interaction with other people in the band, the orchestra, the group, and then you're really learning about how to participate, what it means to practice, and so because you don't get good at anything unless you've done it a bunch of times, and then you do need. I give my mom grief about that, but I thank my mom these days because she was the one that kept me in line. Because I guarantee I would have been more screwed up than any of them, given the way my brain works and all the fun stuff I try to get into. But do it right, stay on that path, and hopefully have some guidance along the way.
Yeah.
With that, I know that a lot of people by now have got to be very interested in what you guys do. So tell me the process. When somebody decides they want to hire you, they're like, Tom, I'm impressed. You guys know what you're doing. How can I hire you?
You can go to our website, arrowheadroofingstl.com.
I'll put that up on the wide angle. Here we go.
Also, our phone number is linked on that. We have it set up to where you can text our phone number. You'll go to our wonderful office lady, Ashlyn. Most of the leads she'll get, they filter over to me, and then I distribute them depending on where area they're in and what type of work they have, because that's the thing we want to do. We want to make sure that we're getting the most qualified people to your house. I've got one guy that is better at gutters than my other guys. So if you're looking at new gutters on a massive house, I want to get him over there. Doesn't mean my other guys can't do gutters well, and I want them to learn gutters. But if you've got a massive 3,500, 4,000 square foot house or bigger, I want my gutter expert there. If it's a pretty simple, a ranch, certain feet across the front, certain feet across the back, cut and dry, my other guys are trained well enough to do that, and we're working on them getting them there. So that's how easy it is to get a hold of us. You go to our Facebook page. Make sure you give us a like and a follow if you do that.
There you go.
The follow is just as important as a like, if not more important.
Well, that's what we talk about. Share the love, give the support to the community. There's their Facebook page, and you can see all the good work they've got out in the community. But yeah, I like the fact that because ultimately there's a checks and balances. There's a process, whether you've got the expert or you've got the guy who's journeyman or learning, whichever how's that phrased. But you've got a process. I'm certain that before it's all said and done, that thing's being surveyed, checked, And are you out there sometimes checking stuff?
I go frequently. I'm doing some ride-alongs tomorrow with the guys, and I have them. So if you see me out there and they're going to introduce me as this is Tom. He works with us. I don't ever want to be known as a manager because I don't want them, coming to me for the stuff. I want the homeowners going to my guys, but I want to learn and watch what they do. They might have some really good things that I need to work with them on to improve that because they're doing a great job and now they need to get better at it. They might have some holes. They might be skipping parts of the process because they're human and sometimes people get lazy. So I'm just out there always trying to make sure that they're getting better each and every day.
Well, with that and talking about helping the community, take a quick look at this celebration. A big event here in St. Louis. It was Juneteenth, and some of the friends that we support, the guys from SLU basketball. I went to St. Louis University, and the SLU basketball guys were there. I even offered to give them some tips. You'll have to listen to what we talk about here, everybody. It's kind of fun. Here we go. All right, everybody, we're here with the SLU basketball team enjoying this awesome event. First up, Robbie, you're a little taller than me. I guess you play for the basketball team at St. Louis University.
I do that, yes, sir.
What's your position? How long have you been on the team?
I play center. This is going to be my second year here at SLU.
Are you excited about the upcoming season?
Oh, yeah, I'm super excited. It's going to be a fun season. We can't wait to get started.
What do you find most exciting about this event here today at Delwood Rec Center?
I think just seeing the community get together, seeing the camaraderie between people, on this lovely holiday. Obviously it's a big thing to celebrate, and so just seeing everybody out here together having a good time, it's awesome.
Do you think I can help you maybe with a little bit of your slam dunks, maybe?
I think you can help me a lot, yeah.
All right, we'll work on that later. All right. Thank you, Robbie. What's your name?
I'm Dion Brown.
All right, Dion, what position you playing?
I play combo guard, sometimes small forward as well, so 1, 2, and 3.
I was not a basketball player at this level, obviously, everybody. So you shoot, rebound, dunk, the whole thing?
That's it, anything I can do.
How excited are you about playing for SLU this year?
I can't wait, it's got a great group of guys, it's my first year here, so I'm kind of meeting everyone for the first time, but I can't complain, I love it here.
How fun has this event been for you?
It's been great, we got to see people, we got to help out a little bit, taking out the trash, got to meet people, take pictures, spend time with the community, with the youth, so it's been great.
If you need any help with your three-pointer, you let me know.
Yeah, you can help me right now, actually. I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Good deal. What's your name?
Amari.
Mark, how you doing?
Amari.
Amari, I'm sorry, got that. Amari, good to meet you. What position you play for SLU?
I'm guard.
You're a guard.
Yeah.
You can shoot, dribble, dunk, and the whole thing.
Yeah, just a little bit. I wish I could do it like him, but
we're going to talk to him too. All right, Amari. How excited are you about the upcoming season for SLU?
I'm very excited. We got a group of guys, that compete and, that's willing to win. So, it's fun. You can't complain.
So is there going to be a potential conference championship in this maybe? Don't want to get you in trouble predicting. We don't do that in baseball. We don't do it in football. But do you at least feel like you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, we got a group of guys that's willing to win, that's willing to dive on floors and get loose balls. So, can't complain, honestly.
That's that hard work pays off, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Yeah, thank you. What's your first name?
Kalu.
Kalu. How long have you been playing with the SLU basketball team now?
This is going to be my second year here now.
So you're excited having a new coach? This is his second year too. Did you come along with the coach? You like this program he's got put together?
Yeah, I came along with him last year. It's a great program, great environment. I'm excited for this new season.
So as a matter of SLU's place in the conference, you think there's a chance you might do well in the conference this year?
For sure. Just got to take it day by day and come compete every single day. And I think we'll have a great chance for that.
What position you specialize in?
I'm a forward.
So you can do those rebounds, maybe a slam dunk, and hit a three-pointer every once in a while.
For sure, for sure.
You need any help with your reverse slam dunk, you let me know.
I got you, man.
All right, everybody. We're here up at the event at Delwood, Juneteenth. Cardinal Cowboy. We'll be back. So a great community event. They're bringing a lot of people together, and I get to hang out with a lot of my buddies, too. So a lot of fun that we like to show everybody how united our community really is when it comes down to it. This is one of my favorite questions because it's something that helps put a little spotlight on what it is that we all have to deal with, because life is challenging. But in your life or in your business or with a customer, can you tell us a challenge you've personally had to experience to help you grow? Because it's those challenges that usually force us to learn more and to expand.
Usually it's just when people are selfish. That's one of the biggest challenges you run into because all they can see is their world. We might have 15 roofs going on in a week, but for them, they only have one. Right. And it's trying to explain that to them without making them feel less.
Right.
are making them feel not important or not valuable or whatever it may be. Because again, they're just in their bubble. I've got to worry about 15 roofs, not one. But their roof is valuable and it is important, and I don't want to lose that. And they are an important person. But that is the biggest challenge of trying to navigate what their real issue is and getting to that and figuring out a way to navigate around that.
Absolutely. We all are in a little battle here. We talked a little bit about that earlier in the show, last show. But you never know what somebody else's problems are, somebody else's plight, what they're dealing with. And as long as we keep that in mind, you're right. Selfishness ultimately can be very destructive for yourself.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be so entrenched in your own personal problems. Step out for a minute, look at what else is going on, and you see other people's got problems maybe a little bigger than yours.
Yeah.
You have to keep it in perspective too. I like that. Well, tell us, do you have any particular favorite quote you live by? I mean, I'm one that has a couple things baseball related. I'll share with you while you think about that. But it's not the error. My dad's one of my favorite quotes from my dad. It's not the error that causes you to lose the game, everybody. Write that one down. It's how you respond to that error.
Like that one. One of my favorite ones is how you do some things is how you do everything. And I'm a father. I have children. I do my best to try to show the example and not just talk about it. Fail probably more than I succeed. But, I'm trying to teach my kids is, we do this now. We do it right. A couple weeks ago, my daughter had her stuff sitting on the steps, and I said, take that upstairs. She says, I'll do it later. And I said, no, we'll do it now, because that's what the right thing to do is do it now. And just doing that. So how you do the little things in life sometimes, for me, it's a big pet peeve of mine. Putting your grocery cart back. Like, it drives me nuts when I see people don't. I know it's raining. It's raining on these other 100 people out here. I know it's hot. It's hot for everybody. But you not taking the 30 seconds of inconvenience says you care more about your life than you do that person's vehicle.
Very true, man. And what happens by doing that virtue, I think, is, tell me if you agree with this, when you do those little extra things, they make your own life a lot easier.
Yeah.
Then you're a little bit more organized, taking the stuff upstairs.
Yeah.
You're a little bit ahead, because then you forget about it. Take care of those issues now, address the things now, get it completed now. And I know there's people that, Cowboy, you were 3 minutes late, you were 5 minutes late. Well, I apologize. I was hammering out some other full details, and I called you to let you know. But I want to be on time every time I can be there, but also make sure that we get everything done and help people to get through. Because whenever you're going out of your way, just another one from my dad, excellence is achieved by doing a little more.
Yeah, I like that. And it's funny, if you talk to people that are highly successful or people that have achieved things, whether they're athletes or whomever they be, it's really the little things that they do. One of my friends and I, we talk about this every so often, is get really, really good at doing the boring stuff. It's easy to show up and do the big things sometimes. It's really hard to do the boring stuff each and every day.
That is true. I mean, because it's monotonous. It's work that we don't want to do. But if you learn how to systematically get those things done, and just a matter of just got to hammer it out. It's going to take me.
Be efficient with it.
Yeah, it's going to be 30 seconds extra right now, but it's at 30 seconds I get now, because when you got to do it later, then you got to stop what you're doing, come back to where you were, start up again, and then get it done. And what happens very often? Doesn't get done.
Doesn't get done. Or it doesn't get done with the excellence that it deserved or should have, because you rushed through it.
Yeah.
And again, get really, really good at doing boring stuff each and every day.
That's what I like. I like that one, because that will make that impact for us all to help to make this world a better place. All right. As we finish up here, we got a couple minutes left. What's the biggest objection people have when somebody have questions about getting a roof done? This is a big purchase. There's a lot that goes into this. They're thinking about, oh my gosh, this is my house. What are the biggest?
The biggest objections we have is, depending on what your insurance company is, if you're going down the insurance route, is actually knowing what your premium reads and what's covered and what's not covered. A few years ago, when the premium started getting higher, people were so focused on getting that monthly, quarterly, yearly premium down that they did that, and in doing that, they lost some coverage. There's people out there that get hit with siding, with hail, and they don't have siding match. So their insurance company is only going to pay for the siding that was damaged on that side of the house. So now you've got brand new siding and then 3 sides that are old. That is a realistic thing. And they didn't know this. So make sure you're educated on your policy. And I'll even go into the car. Make sure you're educated on your car policy. Make sure you have rental coverage. I had a little fender bender a couple years ago. Basically, it was a headlight. 6 weeks without my truck. And if I wouldn't have had a rental car, what was I going to do? You know, that's 6 weeks. So understanding your policy, that's a big challenge we have. And then the other thing is just when people are paying for the roof is just making sure that it's in a budget. Your roof, your HVAC are the two largest purchases you'll make as far as repairs around the house.
HVAC, air conditioning and heating, right?
Exactly. So you want to make sure that the budget's there for that. And that's why you call us. We can work through the insurance process if it's an option. If it's not, we can work out pricing, and then we have some financing and things that can help you out.
Really good points you make there, because literally so much of what goes into a house determines the value of that house, and you don't want to cut corners there. But you want to make sure you're getting it done correctly.
Yeah.
And one caveat you brought up there, I want to mention. I've got whatever the policy is, 300. It'll cover all but my deductible. But there's clauses in there to say, hey, but this is what it'll be built back to the full value or a depreciated value, and all these little clauses you've got to understand in there, and that's what you guys help them to understand.
Yeah.
And maybe even have that discussion before they have a claim.
Yeah.
To call your insurance company, make sure you've got the right coverage.
The insurance world changed, especially on the roofing side, a handful of years ago. They used to just, get you 3 estimates, and they'd pay you in the middle, or they'd pay you one, and if your roof was $20,000 and you had a $1,000 deductible, they just send you a $19,000 check, get it taken care of. Well, people were pocketing that money. They weren't replacing the roof. They were having somebody replace it for $9,000. It wasn't up to code. It wasn't up to par, and this was causing problems down the road. So now they hold money back, and then us as the contractor, we have to send actual invoices that have to match theirs. Because if you have a $20,000 roof, and $1,000 deductible, and they're going to send you $19,000, if my invoice is sent to them for $18,000, you don't get that $1,000. They keep it. So just educating people on that, because it has changed. And again, you don't get a roof every year or two. So by the time you get your next roof, if we do a roof for you in 2025, when you do your next one in 2040, it's going to be a whole new game.
Pay attention to the details, everybody. That's what can make a big difference. And if you don't understand your policy, bring an expert in who deals with this on a daily basis, and they will analyze. This is why you don't go to a lot of people that advocate, you believe this is true, don't go to the insurance company yourself and try to make the claim yourself until you've talked to an expert that can say, here you do have some damage. Oh, yeah, there's definitely some things you consider. Or maybe not, because once you make a claim,
and we work for the homeowner is what we do, and we're on their side, and we want to make sure the insurance company is not missing things or cutting corners, and we want to maximize that policy and that premium they're paying every month. So let us be a part of the process, and therefore we can make sure that you're being properly taken care of.
All right, as we finish up here, tell us a little bit about what you enjoy that you guys do to help the community. We got about 15 seconds here. Quick blurb. What do you think it is Arrowhead does most to help the community?
I mean, we're just trying to be present. Right now, our corporate office is in Curly and Wentzville. We're actually moving closer towards the city here soon. We're just taking care of local communities and, sporting organizations and things in our community. But as we branch out further, I'm sure we're going to get more involved in that.
Lots of great stuff. Check out Tommy and his band, too. They do a great shout out. What is the name?
Twisted Road.
Twisted Road. That's right. Great fun there. Hire those guys. They do a good job. Stay tuned for more, everybody. This is your little Castle Show. Giddy up.